dipshit showed up on the other channel. Showed up on the other channel talking about it's against YouTube policy to show your guns on YouTube. No, it's not. Do your research before y'all make stupid ass comments. Typically, I would have replied to something like that instantly, but I just deleted their comment. Like, it's not even worth my energy anymore.
So why do you feel the need to talk about it?
So, it's not. It's against YouTube policy to be messing with your guns on live stream. And you're still allowed to carry your guns on live stream. You just can't be handling your guns. See, I know the policies, dude. Like, ugh. When you're a legal gun owner and a law-abiding citizen, you check into things before you just go doing stuff, you know?
So, if you know the policies, why do you abuse people and bully people online?
I'm getting ready for bed here soon. Some of us gotta work, you know?
The way you show your guns online, it's complete and utter cringe and childish. Cecil, stop doing that. Please, for your own sake, because you look dumb.
I just didn't want to disappear without at least speaking up.
So basically you came on to waste our time again.
I don't know if anybody said anything or if anybody's been continuing to talk about me. Frankly, I don't give a fuck.
You keep telling yourself that.
It's not how I live my life, you know? I just live my life. I don't worry about other people. And I definitely don't worry about what anybody has to say about me.
Okay, I'll see you back in less than 2 weeks.
A long time ago, I came to YouTube. I never expected for people to ever acknowledge me in any type of way, for anything, good or bad. I never expected anybody to acknowledge my paranormal research. It was a new hobby for me.
With all due respect, you don't do paranormal research, Cecil. Define the word research. I keep telling you this. You are a practitioner, a spirit box practitioner is the best way I can describe you. You're not a paranormal researcher. Let me add that you're not a very good one at that because you just copy what other people do for views and attention on YouTube.
I was coming away from music because I was becoming an old age, and I've done music for over 2 decades, and it was becoming very boring to me. I was losing inspiration as a music artist. I spent most of my time getting the music sound right, you know? I spent most of my time trying to get it to sound good than I was actually creating good music. And frankly, because I am naturally talented, a lot of the music is very good.
Agree that your song Losing My Mind was very good. The song about your mom, and there was another one. But some of the other ones were, the lyrics were a bit not so good. And some of it was basically dissing your haters and stuff. That's where you sort of lose me.
Very good. I believe if you feel it, it's real shit. That's just my opinion on music. I believe that music feeds the souls of millions worldwide, and music is a universal language that connects us all. Look, I've made some mistakes as a kid, but we all have. I'm a human being. I'm far from perfect.
Very interesting here where he admits that he's made mistakes as a kid. We've all made mistakes in the past, but he doesn't elaborate on what those mistakes are, and he doesn't actually make an apology. So I don't know if he's referring to the serious allegations against him or something completely different.
Some of us talk freely about things, some of us don't. Some of us hide who we truly are. Some of us are fake, and some of us are real. And most fake people will never admit that they lied or made a mistake. But I'm just a human being with emotions.
Cecil is deliberately vague here so he can mold things to his own narrative.
I'm just a person, just a regular person, just like you guys, a very humble, everyday person like you guys. Just because I have a little bit of people knowing me doesn't make me any better or bigger than anyone else.
Cecil does say that he's humble, but you see over the past where he tries to get recognition for, his so-called paranormal research, where he's pretending to be psychic. He's wanting to solve cases. He's wanting to be famous. There's a bit of that in a lot of YouTubers, and there is a little bit of that. But in Cecil's case, the reason why he's so well known is because of the negative, not the positive, and he reacts to that negative reaction in a negative way, which only feeds the fire.
As y'all can see, you can become well known on social media and it's not ever be a good thing for you because most people who know you don't even like you. So people will hate you just because you're known doesn't mean it's a good thing.
Cecil is expressing his experience on YouTube as a common thing with everybody that gains subscribers and that. And he's coming across as if you have a certain amount of subscribers, you're going to get the level of hate that he gets. But, I'm close to 3,000 subscribers. I have very few incidents of hate. One person told me to off myself. The other person that gave me any sort of hassle was actually Cecil. So, my experience and a lot of other people's experiences are different to Cecil's, but Cecil is, in his own world, thinks that we all get this kind of attention. No, the reason why Cecil is getting the attention that he's getting is for the things that he admitted to and then tried to roll back, and he doesn't seem to want to face that. Notice I'm not very angry today. I'm trying to be as calm as possible. I'm trying to be as logical as possible. I'm trying to be as professional as possible in responding to this video.
Just because people are out there who are famous and shit, I'm not famous, but other people who are famous, a lot of people are famous for the wrong shit.
And Cecil would fall into that category. 100%. I think another mistake that Cecil has made is when somebody criticizes him, he has to go on the attack and he resorts to the name calling. That makes the other person very angry and makes them stick to Cecil like glue because he has attacked them and he has made them so angry that they just keep coming after him. If he had handled it in a different way, they would just go away eventually. There's nothing to, keep after him for. But then again, you've got this other aspect of it where he has admitted to doing things and then tries to roll it back by a number of different excuses that contradict each other. And, there's two things going on there,
I came to YouTube to do paranormal, man, and to get away from music. I came to paranormal to do something positive and productive in my life as an old man.
Well, a lot of older people and a lot of people that have disabilities and stuff, they turn to ITC. If they're interested in the paranormal, they do ITC at home because they don't have to move about, they don't have to go to places, and they can do their research at home and stuff. But the thing with Cecil is he's got this vision of ITC like a telephone to anybody that's dead. You know, this culture on YouTube where the spirit box can reach out to all these famous people. Most of that is clout chasing, and Cecil has fallen into that. You know, if Cecil went and done ITC research for ITC research purposes and not just making streams and videos on YouTube, you know, more people would be interested in it because it hasn't got an agenda. Reaching out to celebrities, it has an agenda. Now, sometimes when Cecil does these paranormal ITC sessions, some of it is for clout. The other times, I think he does have this empathy because, he's a fan of somebody, or he's seen a video about somebody and he wants to reach out and talk and stuff like that. But in the ITC, community, not so much on YouTube, but just ITC groups, they don't tend to take people that base all their evidence on calling out to famous people, because very often, the way it works on YouTube, if you turn on a spirit box and, can I speak to Michael Jackson or Tupac or whatever, and say the spirit box says, no, my name is John Smith, I used to live down the road, and they don't hear it, they're still heading in that direction of, I want to speak to Michael Jackson, I don't want to speak to you. And the reason why I don't want to speak to you is because you're not famous. Do you know what I mean? With genuine ITC, they would say, right, this is brilliant communication. YouTube, very often on YouTube, people go, no, they click on titles and thumbnails and stuff. And very often, because the famous person is involved, that's the reason why they put it there. It's kind of like dangling the carrot. But I reach out to a guy called John Smith. People are going, who the flip is John Smith? This is what separates the YouTuber from the ITC practitioner or ITC researcher.
To continue some type of hobby that keeps me off of pills, that keeps me in my recovery, and because I had a rough childhood, to possibly inspire another young person like Logan to be positive and to do good things in life, like music, paranormal. Quit it, stop it.
I do agree that focusing on something helps your mental health, it helps you, have a purpose and all of that. But in that, you have to have a peaceful place to do that. And, with Cecil, he hasn't created that peaceful place because the underlying issues have invaded on that. And, he may blame, he does blame other people for that, when in fact it was his own fault. He didn't clear up the mess before he continued to have something that he could focus on. So there was underlying issues which interrupted what he wanted to focus on, because he didn't deal with the underlying issues. He passed blame to somebody else. He passed blame to his critics. He passed blame on children which were, involved in this crimes against children. That's where all this issue is. And this is why he can't focus on what he wants to do now. Because he's got this stumbling block in the way, which he doesn't know how to deal with.
I'm not a bad person. Never was a bad person. Just grew up with bad circumstances, man. And a lot of us have. A lot of us have. A lot of us had it rough. I'm not looking for sympathy. I'm not looking for pity. I'm looking for people. Stop it, Taco. You're not going to get a treat doing that. Me having a hard life is not something to feel sorry about. Me having a hard life is something to inspire others about. Stop it, boy. He's moving the hot sauce to get my attention to get a treat. He's something else. Because you can make it out of a bad situation and do something good with your life.
Yes, you can turn your life around, but if you continue to attack other people in the way that you have, that doesn't really work, because the names that you call people, the abuse that you give these critics, that only adds fuel to the fire. It doesn't help with the situation. And it doesn't help when you lie as well. Because, I'm trying to stay calm in this video. But when you have a situation and you have a number of different excuses for that situation that points the finger at other people in each excuse, there's too many excuses to make it any way logical, because one excuse contradicts the other, and it's just the same circle of stuff where you avoid the accountability by making these excuses, and in your head these excuses are valid, but to the outside world they don't make sense. They actually make the situation worse. It more exposes you the more excuses you add to a situation, if you get where I'm coming from. That's my pet hate. Cats and animals on countertops is one of my pet hates. Oh, I can't look. I just can't. A lot of people are animal lovers. They have cats running around their countertops. To me, it just triggers me. Don't like it at all.
And that's the whole point of it all. Stop it. You're so smart, kitty. And doing the whole Kanika Jenkins ghost box sessions and other cold cases, man, all that was to try to use the spiritual communication. If it's real or not, who knows? But all the research and years I put into it, I come to the equation that it's real. It's very much real. Because before I started doing paranormal research, I didn't know if it was real or not. I was highly intrigued and interested. I was like, is this shit real? If it is, I want to get into this field.
It was Kanika Jenkins' ghost box sessions that Cecil was doing that brought the attention of an independent journalist called Random News. High-profile deaths brought a lot of attention when it comes to social media and platforms like YouTube. So people were willing to talk about these high-profile cases. So we had an increase in true crime. We had an increase in these kind of channels who were doing these ghost box sessions on people that just died, and especially if they were a high-profile case. This brought traction to their channel, it brought attention, and in some cases brought money. People were willing to cross more boundaries to become famous and become popular on platforms like YouTube. Before the popularity of platforms like YouTube, it was the mainstream media that delivered news to the public. With the popularity of platforms like YouTube, a person like you and me can become a journalist, and this is where the problem occurred within this community, that were using high profile deaths to get attention on YouTube. When it comes to the paranormal and these high profile cases, what we have going on here is part journalism and part spirituality. The spirituality part is the part that protects them from accountability for the things that they say online. For example, Cecil has accused Kanika Jenkins' friend of killing her. Now, people will call out on that, and rightly so, because he believed the spirits told him. But in some cases, where those thoughts and those theories are challenged, people used spirituality to protect themselves. For example, this is my spiritual belief and you're attacking that. But when people like Cecil accuse other people because they think the spirit box told them that, they can be open to investigation and prosecution for slander. It's important to note that people continue doing this because people were not being taken accountability and not being sued for slander. But that is starting to change now, and rightly so, because what we have is a lot of people that are turning psychic overnight in their own head, or to make themselves famous and come out with such so much slanderous statements that something is starting to be done now to tackle the problem of people doing this activity, and behind it all is not genuine. Behind it all is people trying to make money off this and trying to become famous because of this. There is other people also that think that this is all real and this is all, you know, it's all above board, and it's fascinating to them, and they jump on the bandwagon doing the same thing, not realizing that they've crossed a moral boundary. They have opened themselves up to slander, and another important part of it interferes with the police investigation. ITC and all of these other things should not be interrupting a police investigation who is trained to do these investigations. In my opinion, ITC has no part to play in any of that. If you want to get an extent of the problem, go to Random News and look at a lot of the videos there. there is some crazy people here with crazy theories, and they just freely blurt them out there on the internet with no accountability and no regard for people's families, or no regard for their own legal protection, because I think in the future people like this will be prosecuted for slander. Now, we're sort of dithering on the edge of free speech. Yes, free speech is good, but when it comes to coming out with these theories because the spirits told them that, you really need to have very good evidence to come out with statements, such as the statements that we hear on platforms like YouTube, and there is people starting to get prosecuted for some of the things that they've said in the line of slander and accusing people of murder and stuff like that. There is one ongoing case at the moment that I'm aware of a person that is a TikTok psychic, and she accused a science teacher, I believe it was, of killing 4 students, even though a man had been arrested for that crime. That woman, that science teacher, has taken this woman up for slander, and the case is ongoing, and the woman, the perpetrator, is actually making things a lot difficult, and there's counter-suing going on, and there's all sorts of things. So, and as well as that, it doesn't give the paranormal a good name. It actually just taints the image of the paranormal more than it's already been tainted with a lot of crazy stuff.
But if I get in this field, I want to do something positive with it, like it's 11/11. See these numbers all the time. I just want to turn something scary into something positive, or change my life from a bad life to something positive, or turn my bad music and crappy quality into something positive that can do something good for someone or myself. Just something that can get me out of the rut that I was in for many years during drug addiction. Drug addiction is a disease. It's not a crime. We're not criminals because we've used drugs in the past.
Cecil wants to focus on things to take him away from his past. I do understand that, going into this gold panning and other things and stuff. But again, there's an underlying issue there where a testimony or a confession video and other things in relation to that have been brought up by him, and then he denies that he said it because the videos are edited, and then when that doesn't work, he lied about the video and stuff. And so, he is currently still on this lie train, which interferes with what he wants to focus on. He cannot move forward unless he deals with this. In the beginning, if he didn't say anything, nobody would be any of the wiser. But we do know this. We do know what he said. He made those videos, and I think, the confession video, you can see in his eyes that he done it out of fear, and he wanted to get the word out before another rapper was going to come up with the information and stuff. If he had put his hand up and says, "This was my past and I'm sorry, and I'm trying to move forward, and I'm really sorry for what I done," and all that kind of thing, some people would forgive him, others would find it a little bit more difficult, because with other crimes, people find it easier to forgive, but when it's a crime against children, it's a whole different kettle of fish. But he would have less problems that he's having now. And people don't like being lied to, and it's, it is quite obvious that, his viewers are being lied to. And that's where people have a lot of the issue, where he's not being honest, he's not being straight, and that. And that's why people still attack him. And, if he just, if he just was honest about everything, he would have less trouble now, but he would still possibly have some trouble. But because he keeps fighting this, he is in a cycle of this battle, and it's not going in any particular direction. It just keeps going around in circles. So this has been going on for 7 years. It hasn't veered off to any specific direction. It's kept going around in circles, and it's the same lies, it's the same excuses, and it's quite obvious to everybody that it's lies. But to him and very few other people, that he's telling the truth, even though he has changed his story so many times. When a person's changed their story so many times, it is a red flag. If a person sticks with the same story throughout, it's a little bit more solid. And that's where the problem really is. Even as present, he doesn't help himself. He makes things worse. He came out with a short video called My Little Girl, goal panning or something like that. But, people automatically know that things like My Little Girl or My Little Boy attracts some of the very wrong people that we don't want around us. Another thing too is going into children's parks with metal detecting and guns and stuff like that. His stories about his employment, there've been a number of incidents there, and it's just, there's layers and layers of, surrounding Cecil. And it just, Cecil tends to turn on the camera and just not pre-plan anything, and just these stories naturally just come out, and it doesn't help him at all. And I don't think at this stage that he's learned to any sort of restraint of any kind. He's sort of doing it now by not uploading as much, but he's still got this habit, I think, of he has to get what's in his head out, and what comes out sometimes can be alarming. And when you add it to, previous incidents, it starts to paint a very dark picture, let's say. It's also been noted that in every incident, Cecil is the victim. There's a perpetrator, and it's not him. In every case. That has raised alarm bells as well.
You don't look down upon people because they were an ex-felon. We're labeling people and holding them back based off of the mistakes they've made in their life. Is that how we really should be treating people? Because if it is, that's you can't say nothing when someone treats you that way. Stop it. Stop it. I'm just saying, man. All jokes aside, all trolling aside, all harassment aside, at the end of the day, I came to YouTube because it was therapeutic and to do something positive with my life, to use YouTube as a utilizing tool to share what I love with the rest of the world, whether you like it or not, whether you like me or not, it's irrelevant. That's why I came here. Doesn't matter if I'm making beats, doesn't matter if I'm making songs, doesn't matter if I'm doing paranormal research, doesn't matter if I'm doing prospecting, doesn't matter if I'm doing gold panning, doesn't matter if I'm selling crystals, it doesn't matter what the fuck I choose to do. At the end of the day, I'm here, I came here to do good things.
Cecil's in a catch-22 situation because he came to YouTube to do these things. But if he does do these things, he's then accused of avoiding the issue, which I think very much happens. When the heat gets too much surrounding the incidents that he's talked about in the past, when he goes to do a video or a live stream on his music or gold panning, he's then seen as avoiding the issue, to take a break from that. So what he's basically created for himself is a trap of a catch-22 situation where he can't go to do these other things without people seeing him as avoiding the issue, which I think he does.
And just use YouTube and utilize it as a tool to share what I do with you, whether you like me or like it or not. That's why I came. And I figured if I could do prospecting, then maybe I can raise money and make mine and my family's dream come true. Live on the land's what Hetty wants to do. Live in an RV life. That's what she wants to do. I want to prospect. We could put our dreams together. While we're living on the road, living her dream, I could be prospecting these minerals across the United States. Put two dreams together, blam, and make money at the same time.
It's a plan and it's a dream, and that's good. But the question is, do Cecil want to make a YouTube career or document his journey through that? Because if he does want to do that, he still has that stumbling block of all these other incidents that he has avoided and he has made excuses for. He can't get past that, and people won't let him get past that unless he addresses it in a proper sort of way and in an honest kind of way. And so, yes, he can have a dream, he can have a future, he can move forward in that, but he still has to deal with, things that are extremely serious. And I just don't see him doing that. All I see is just excuse after excuse after an excuse, and turning the narrative in a way that he is the victim all the time. He says he doesn't want people to feel sorry for him and all the rest of it. But in every serious incident, he manages to twist the story so that he is the victim of certain incidents and stuff. And he's not getting away from that, and people want to hold him accountability, and rightly so. So he can't move forward documenting any of this on YouTube without addressing all these other things properly first. And Cecil has edited music videos before. He's well able to get the confession video and other things that he has said and react to those. And if, he claims that videos are edited, it's such a serious thing. He should know where the video is edited and show us. But he won't do that because I think he's afraid of putting his foot in it even further. So he, instead of coming up with evidence, instead of coming up with proof to help himself, he responds in anger, he responds in hate, which doesn't help him at all. It actually makes things worse. And he doesn't come up with anything solid to help him, which means that nothing changes.
Turn a fun idea into something profitable, so we can maintain our life out there on the road. Because you got to have an income. Whether you live on the road or live in a home, it doesn't matter. And when I pursue something, I try to go all the way. I go all out. When I did music, I did it for a long time. And I wasn't doing it to become successful. I was doing it because it felt good to make good music. It kept me out of trouble. It kept me off of drugs. It kept me from hurting people when I was angry, when I had anger issues. It helped me with my anger issues. I was able to take anger, frustrations out on songs. And I believe it saved my life. Paranormal research was a new hobby that can be very productive. So many of those cold cases that I was working on, and sometimes I found out after the fact that I actually got a lot of truth of what happened to those people before the public knew what happened to those people. The whole girl who was doing the van life with her boyfriend in Florida, who got pulled over by the cops. I forget her name. The guy who killed himself in the swamp after he killed his girlfriend. It was national news. I knew exactly who killed her, basically what he did with her body, why he killed her, and it all come out and how he killed himself, all before the public knew.
Oh no, we were doing so well. You see, Cecil neglected to mention that he thought he seen Brian Laundrie in a drive-thru, and correct me if I'm wrong, did he also predict that Dog the Bounty Hunter was going to get him by tea time or something like that? You see, people record everything he says and then feeds it back to him when he comes out with some bullshit. I think we've gone into Candace Star mode here. Or as Random News would say, you're looking at the face of a whole goofy.
I knew what happened to Paige Johnson, which is a local story that was nationwide. Local for me. And I truly believe eventually the truth to come out about Kanika, I truly believe I got the truth about her.
I can get communication through ITC. Communicator at one stage called me a fan. See you next Tuesday. I got a communicator to tell me that there was a dog sitting beside me. I got communicators to tell me colours of different objects, call my name, all that kind of stuff, and nobody cares. But people flocked to this kind of crap because even though people don't understand ITC, they're interested in those particular cases, so they're going to watch. And most of it is bullshit. I'm just being straight up honest with you. It's tainting ITC, in my opinion, to get involved in these kind of cases because it is not reliable. And I don't know why he keeps coming up with these claims when I've gone through some of these sessions and I haven't seen any evidence of it. So I don't know. To me, this is clout chasing. Straight up, I have to be honest with you. I've tried to go through this video in a way that if I was interviewing Cecil, there is a a boundary where I don't cross to piss him off. I think I've kind of crossed that now, kind of thing. But I'm just being honest.
Monifa was paid a lot of money after the fact. She was acting funny. And people, they don't look at women as murderers. Trust me, I have a friend that does a little music with me who moved to Chicago, who had a wife and a bunch of kids by this woman, and she turned out to be a murderer. She was on the FBI's most wanted list. And you would be surprised what women can do. And a lot of you people who hate, you're man-hating biases. You're biased, man. You're biased against men. You're bitter about men in a lot of cases. You know, and a lot of you other people, you're bitter because you don't have a man, or you're bitter because you don't like your woman. And I'm not going to argue with bitter, miserable people, because I'm not a bitter, miserable person.
If this was a real interview, this would be great, because he's hopped onto a subject now that is kind of subtle with Cecil's behaviour, but I'm wondering why Cecil has a very angry hatred towards women. When he insults men that are critiquing him, he calls them certain names, but when it comes to a woman, he goes that extra mile, if you know what I mean. And there's plenty of evidence of that. So I'm wondering, what makes Cecil be so angry towards women in comparison to males? I'm trying to understand that. Now, he hasn't really verbally said anything about that, but could it be that he's got some sort of resentment towards his mother or something? I don't know. I wish he would explain that, because he seems to have an extra bit of turbocharged anger towards women.
I'm not obsessed with YouTube. I'm not obsessed with being popular. I'm not obsessed with being liked. I'm not obsessed with, being validated by total strangers on YouTube. It's not what I live for.
In this end part of the video, Cecil's blood pressure starts to rise, where he lashes out at his so-called haters again. So, and of course, we got the blaming. Everything is the hater's fault and all that kind of thing. He's not going to take any accountability for it. So the tone is starting to change here.
I live for my wife and kid. And my other kids, if they want me in their life. Never had my door shut on them.
Cecil has other children from other relationships, and he's distant from them. And, sometimes he hopes that they come back and contact him again. The problem is, he has, done all these things and said all these things on YouTube and behaved in a very bad way towards other people online, that if these children discover content about him on the internet, that may sway their decision to come and see him, which is very sad, because he, dug his own grave in that aspect of the thing, So, when people speak on YouTube, they're responsible for what they say, and if they act in a certain way, there is consequences, and this could be a consequence of all of that.
But you people are nosy. You're hateful. You don't hesitate to lie. And I'm not going to keep giving energy to you. I will turn this YouTube off and never turn it back on.
all of a sudden a switch turns on in Cecil's head and he's just turned back into this angry person that so many people have an issue with. And I don't think that behaviour is going to change anytime soon, unfortunately. So we've gone from a mellow sort of tone to this angry tone and this attack which keeps happening.
Outside of 2 coin videos, I haven't done nothing in almost 2 weeks. And I haven't cared. Yeah, I just did a prospecting trip. I just went on a trip down in Arkansas that you guys knew nothing about, because it does no good sharing my adventures with you guys, because I know you try to sabotage me and my family.
The problem with Cecil's YouTube channel, you have to question why people are there. And I would ask that question to myself. Why am I on Cecil's channel? Well, sometimes his rants, he says things that are stupidly funny, and he walks himself into so much trouble trying to worm his way out of situations that he spoke about in the past, which has got nothing to do with prospecting or paranormal research or any of that. So I'm possibly watching Cecil for the same reason as many other people. You know? As well as that, if Cecil was a music or a paranormal channel in the beginning, and you start to change genres, the people that watched him in the beginning may not be interested in gold prospecting. YouTube is a kind of a difficult thing to navigate around. But a lot of people, Cecil gains a lot of subscribers. And the reason why he gains a lot of subscribers is because he's a controversial figure that said controversial things. And he's caught up in this battle. And most people are there just for that. And a lot of people that have subscribed to him is just basically there to watch the car crash, basically. Or to troll him. You know? Which I've done both, I have to say.
So there's no real productive, positive reason to put it on YouTube anymore. You know, I can't share these things with you guys. One thing I never could do with my YouTube stuff is travel and do something bigger than what I've done.
If this was an interview, I would ask him, why do you think that is? You know, why can't you share these other things now? I know the answer to that, but I would want to know what his answer to that would be.
I can't do that with the kind of people that are watching me, dude. Can't. I have to wait till after the fact of doing something before I could say something. I actually got to go to an actual crystal mine and dig with my bare hands and pull these things out of the pocket. Made one of my dreams come true. But I can't share it with none of you guys because you guys try to sabotage everything that I try to do. Doesn't matter what I'm doing.
This is why interviewing Cecil is a complete and utter waste of time. Cecil destroyed his own channel with his own behaviour and his own actions, and he blames his haters, and he sticks with that story. There is no point in interviewing him because he changes a lot of things, he changes a lot of his stories, but on this particular thing he has to blame his viewers. And he has lost all respect for his viewers because of the way he treats them. And I will also say the reverse of that, his viewers have lost respect for him because he constantly lies to them and he constantly disrespects them. And if any of his viewers that are contacting him in the comments or chat or anything like that, if it's outside of his view of things, or if he's challenged in any sort of way, he will block them out of existence on his channel. And there is no debating with Cecil. So why actually interview him when he is going to respond by attacking people? In an interview situation, he can't block you. But what he will do is he will attack you. And it would just turn out to be a complete and utter angry rant where he will just probably turn around and rage quit. You know, when you're interviewing Cecil, you have to be subtle, be inviting, earn his respect, but then you have to feed in the questions bit by bit. If you go in all guns blazing, he's just going to get angry and it's going to be a very short interview. But I don't think there's any point in interviewing him at all, because he will stick to his guns that his haters destroyed his channel, when in fact it was him.
There's no logical reason to be on YouTube anymore. And it's sad. It's sad. Because people are always, when you're in the drama community, you're always looking for guilt. You're always looking for a bad guy that you guys want to prove is guilty. That's the problem. Every time y'all don't like somebody, you want to expose them. Or if you see somebody getting beat up on YouTube, you want to jump into. And I don't even worry about what y'all are saying about me. I actually try to look at you and look at why you're being the way you are. I try to put myself in your shoes, like, why? Why be that way?
This is the classic Cecil with his deflection, where it's our fault, he feels sorry for us, he tries to put himself in our shoes, and we're the ones that are mentally ill, we're the ones that have problems. And that comes over time and time again. Strange thing is, he mentions the drama community, and a fun fact here is most of the people that are actually calling him out did not originate from any drama community on YouTube. They were paranormal investigators, and they focused on content of other things. It wasn't anything to do with the drama community. In fact, he's not 100% been covered. He's only slightly covered by drama communities now. I mean, like, if this story escalates, you know, there's very big people in the drama community on YouTube, and if that catches hold there, you're talking a completely different landscape altogether, where it is, you know, it's going to be spread far and wide what kind of behaviour Cecil does and what kind of a person he does. That would put him in the line of other people like Cyrix, Chris Chan, EDP 445, all those things. He hasn't actually reached that, but if he continues, somebody that is pretty big on YouTube may catch the story and may run with it, when other stories, like these other stories that they're covering, runs out of momentum and they need something fresh. Cecil is there for the picking, and that's the problem that Cecil has.
I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't understand hate. Hate is not in me. And like RV said, oh, when he heard me say these things, it reminded him of the person that abused him. Don't compare me to the person who abused you. Because I've never abused anybody in my whole life.
This part frustrates me because I know for a fact he's lying. Well, let's just say he told me things and then turned around and denied that any of this happened and the video was edited again. Let me explain. You see, myself and Cecil have crossed paths more than twice. In fact, we've crossed paths about 3 times. And it kind of all started a couple of years ago on the reason how I know Cecil is I heard Order of Magnitude talking about him. And all of a sudden he went live one night. This is Cecil. And I did all the usual crap that he does nowadays in fighting his corner in relation to this confession video. So I decided, I know the way that this guy acts because he gets volatile very quickly. So, I'm going to be nice to him, So I decided to start talking to him. We start communicating. And then I want to start edging in some questions here. So I edged him in kind of subtly and I didn't go full whack straight away. I didn't want him to feel uncomfortable. And things were going well. I made it quite clear at the time that, this conversation isn't any way to trick him, to say things or anything like that. I basically says, this has gone on long enough. Let's just sort this out. And you can move on. We can all move on. And he says, I agree, and all the rest of it. So, I can't remember exactly the questions that he asked, but to make a long story short, he admitted that there was touching and playing house. Now, dumbass me, I should have asked about what does playing house mean. Because we know as kids what playing house means. But with Cecil's upbringing, playing house might have meant something else. So, he admitted to, touching and playing house and that, and, I asked him, did he regret that, and he says, of course, and that, and he says, well, the best thing what you can do is just sit down, get a piece of paper and a pen, write down things that you want to say, and make a statement, maybe tomorrow or something like that, but, don't rush this, and then just put all this behind you and just move on, like, and that, and he says, I agree in that, I can't remember the full conversation of it, but I think within a couple of hours, the stream got deleted, or he deleted it. He came on and says the video was edited, and he went back to his fighting the way he normally did. I tried to, I says, we talked about this. What are you doing, like? And he didn't see the comment, and then I noticed that I'm probably blocked. And, yeah, he deleted the stream. There was hardly anybody on. I don't know anybody that actually seen the stream and that. So, at that moment in time, I was thinking, yes, this is over and done with. Let's get on with life. And we actually did cover the way he treated people, and he was sorry about that. I said it'd be a good idea to make an apology about that as well, and stuff like that. And yeah, he agreed to that, and then a couple hours later, he was back, saying that he didn't do these things, and video was edited, and blah, blah, blah. And I go, fucking hell. I'm thinking, oh, this isn't going to stop. So, he's going to deny this conversation ever took place, but it did, And, we're a number of years later, and we're still at the same thing. And, it's very sad. Before he pulled the stunt that he did, was I willing to forgive him for those things? Well, he didn't do those things to me, so, it's not my, it's not my case to forgive and that, but I would forgive him because, he had a very difficult upbringing and that. And, I was willing to move on. But because he pulled this stunt and reversed back to, fighting his corner and playing the victim again, I was pretty disappointed about that. And if he went and done the same thing and admitted his wrongdoings now, would I be as quick to forgive? I don't know. I don't think so, because, there's a motive. There's a possible motive that the reason why he wants to get this out of the way is because he just wants to get people off his back. And, would he be genuinely sorry? I don't know. I don't know at this point, but I thought at that point it was genuine in that. And I'm fucking hurt that he went and he reversed what could have been a resolution at the time, and I can't understand why he just let this go on as long as he did, And, it's gone on so long now that to resolve it would be very difficult, because you've got this motive in place where, Cecil's getting all this pressure on him and stuff, and is he, if he did make an apology, is it a genuine one? Is it because he's genuinely sorry, or he just wants people off his back? And I would be more inclined to believe that it would be to get people off his back, which wouldn't be a genuine apology, Like, if I knew it was a genuine apology, I would accept it, and I would do what I said I would do, and is delete all the videos on this channel that's to do with him, which is most of them, basically. I would just let him get on with his life. I don't know if I'd necessarily watch him from that point on, but I would just let him get on with his life. But I don't know if we're ever going to get a resolution to this, and are we going to get something that's completely and utterly honest? From the track record, I don't think so.
Now, I've been on the shitty end of that word. I've been abused. But I would never try to take it out on somebody else because of what someone else did to me. You're still holding on to those angers and those emotions that you have from being abused. It's because you haven't found a way to let go and move on with your life, dude. That's the problem with 90% of trolls.
Cecil uses deflection a lot, but he's not very good at hiding it, because it's quite obvious what he's doing here.
They're bitter and they're holding on to demons that they don't have to hold on to. They live in the past. That's why it's drama. It's a drama community. That's why it's negativity. That's why it's called the drama community.
With a lot of these subjects and stuff, and the people that are critiquing him and trying to hold him to accountability. And most of them, they focus on Cecil. They don't focus on anybody else. They're focusing on Cecil. So they're not actually actively engaging in drama or the drama community, and they wouldn't consider themselves drama channels. And so, he's just making an excuse there, is these people are all negativity and always looking for drama, when most of them are focusing on him. And the reason why they're focusing on him is because they've been lied to by Cecil over and over again.
Where does drama derive from? It derives from pain from the past. People always living in the past, gossiping about the past. Always throwing the past, bringing it back up.
What I'm getting from this is Cecil wants to bury the past and not deal with it and just move on as if nothing happened. But with something that serious, you can't just do that. You have to deal with it. You have to, you have to be accountable for it. You have to be remorseful, and you have to right the wrongs. As well as that, he is bringing up the past more than what we are, in the way that he treats people in the present, and the way he attacks people in the present. And this is one of the ways that Cecil keeps his ball rolling. And even Cecil's wife says that Cecil has a habit of keeping this ball rolling, which he constantly does. But I think in this statement, Cecil wants to bury the past and he doesn't want anyone to talk about it. Yet he feeds into the haters, as he calls it, and he's the one that's keeping this ball rolling. But at the same time, if he just took accountability, he made things a bit more transparent than what he has been, he may not be in this mess that he's finding himself in now. But he has to play the victim. He has to be the one that people feel sorry for. Even though he constantly states that I don't want people to feel sorry for me. Well, I think when he makes them statements, I think it's a reverse psychology that he's using.
But yeah, I just wanted to talk. I didn't care to let anybody know why I left YouTube. I just wanted, a part of me did want to let everybody know why I left and why I'm staying gone. I figured, as hateful as you guys are, you still had a right to know why. I guess this is the unselfish side of me that I have.
Translated into English, I'm the good person and you're the bad person. You're the bad people.
A part of me actually wanted you to know why I left and why I'm staying gone from this point on.
For the last number of years, Cecil has used YouTube more as a punching bag to vent his frustration than to get himself involved in, the creative side of YouTube. And I can't see him giving that up that easy. So basically, I'll see him next week, most likely. It's a bit like those people on Facebook that whinge every second of the day. And they feel like they get some sort of a release by putting it out on the internet and getting sympathy for their struggles and stuff. And I used to see that a lot on Facebook, and that's why I sort of stopped using Facebook because I was just seeing so much of people's negativity. But Cecil has been using the platform of YouTube to do the same thing in a visual and audible format rather than the written word that you would see on Facebook, you know.
And for all the other people out there that are going through the same thing that I've been put through for 7.5 years, maybe this will help you. Maybe my story can help you. Understand that a lot of us go through this shit, man. When you got one supporter but hundreds of haters, what's the point?
If you had one supporter and hundreds of haters, what would be the first question you would ask? Well, the first question I would ask is, why have I got so many haters? The second question is, how do I fix that? With Cecil, it's a bit more complicated because Cecil is hated for a number of different reasons. You know, lying, the confession video, the denial of the confession video, the mocking of victims, the mocking of disabled people, the abuse of women, and the list goes on. And so in Cecil's case, he's not in very good standings, really. I don't know how he would get out of that. A blanket, I'm sorry, I don't think is going to cut it at this point. Then again, action speaks better than words. And with Cecil, we have very much a lack of actions and an awful lot of deflection, which doesn't change anything. It just, everything stays the same. Cecil tries the same thing over and over again, hoping for a different result, but he's just keep getting the same result. I think in Cecil's mind, the world has gone bad and there's loads of hateful people and very little good people, which is a very bad way of looking at things, when our world is completely different than that. But I think because of what he's going through, he thinks that is the reality for a lot of people, and it isn't. Because he's trying to deflect from his own actions and stuff. I'd love to know what's going through his mind. And if this was an interview, I'd like to get into that. But I don't think I will be interviewing him because I don't want to interview a liar. I've been lied so many times that I don't particularly want to be lied live on camera. I've already been lied so many times before. Like all of you, you know? So what's the point? What would change, you know?
Why even want a YouTube when you gotta deal with that shit? No, kitty, you can't come in here and make a beat. At the end of the day, I got hundreds of people saying things to me that I know ain't true constantly. It doesn't make me angry because it's not true. It used to make me angry, but I'm numb to it now.
No, I don't think he's numb to it, but he has found a way of venting that anger, and that is through his YouTube channel. And case in point, his rants are more popular and more plentiful on his YouTube channel than the other content that he wanted to focus on. So he found YouTube as a punching bag. And I don't know what he's going to do, how he's going to replace that punching bag if he leaves YouTube. And this is why I believe that he's not going to leave YouTube. He says this twice or three times in the last 2 months. And, at one stage said that he was deleting his channel. He couldn't do that. He even lied about that. The reason why he still has that YouTube channel is he needs that punching bag when he gets frustrated. And we are the recipients of his anger and rants. And that's how he uses his YouTube channel.
So I know the hate is fake. So as I part ways and close the curtain to this YouTube thing, I'm not even mad about it. I'm not mad at y'all. Y'all don't have no reason to hate me. You're hating me because of shit that ain't true, dude. That's fake hate. None of us know each other. None of us. So I take it all as a lesson. Life is a lesson, dude. Everything we experience in life, good or bad, there's a lesson to be learned. And you can turn anything into something positive. It's all about your outlook.
When Cecil gets deep in reflection, sometimes he can be very good, but then he is actually referring to the people that are criticizing him as haters, which very often isn't the case.
Look, you could choose to be angry, or you could choose not to be angry. You could choose to be sad, or choose not to be sad. People, you can control your emotions. You don't have to be angry. You choose to be. Some people like to be angry. It feels good to them.
That's actually very interesting. I can't believe this is coming from Cecil. But yes, controlling your emotions can be difficult in that. And yes, we do see a lot of people that can't help being angry because that's their comfort zone or something, and they express that anger to the public to get support for that anger, if that makes any sense. But then again, he's addressing his haters, which half of them don't actually hate him, because believe it or not, some of these people, even though they call him out and are very angry with him and very angry with the things he says and does, very often give him a lifeline to get out of things. Like myself, Order of Magnitude, Master Shredder, and a number of other people, we give solutions for Cecil to use that would get him out of a situation. If somebody hated somebody that much, we wouldn't throw that lifeline, maybe we see Cecil as the, what way can I put this? The pet clown. He's got these issues, and they're really messed up, but there's part of him that we kind of feel sorry for him and want to help him. I'm just thinking out loud.
I remember times when I had anger issues when I was young, man. I used to love getting angry. It gave me a good feeling.
something just popped into my mind when he said on a live stream that getting angry makes him aroused. I've seen that clip on Random News, one of Random News' episodes. I don't know what convinced him to come out with that kind of stuff, but sometimes Cecil does.
But I know now, as an experienced 42-year-old man, I know what anger can do to your spirit, to your body, to every aspect of your being. It can destroy you. So does negative lies. It can destroy you, the one telling the lies.
He was doing so well until he called us all liars. Yes, negativity and anger can help you, or can affect you in a negative way, medically and physically, but we're not the ones that are lying, Cecil. Cecil is the one that's lying. Cecil's the one that's lying to us, and he's lying to Cecil, by the looks of things. I think Cecil is lying to himself a lot of the time. Again, he has to be the victim. We have to be the perpetrators here, in all cases. And that is a stumbling block, that is a bit of a problem here, which would affect a resolution to the problems at hand.
So I choose not to be a part of it. I don't understand hate. I don't understand non-hesitating lying. Everybody lies once in a while, but when you do it on a regular basis just to push a narrative, then I don't respect it. And I don't surround myself around people like y'all in real life, so why would I do it on social media? I'm not going to be different on social media. I'm going to be who I am, whether people like me or not.
Translated into English, you're all a shower of bastards. But he said it in the most kindest way possible. Notice too that he says that people are lying to push a narrative. And the first thing I thought of, actually, was Cecil himself. Which is kind of strange, because what I've basically been hearing is him talking about himself, but he's pushing it that we are that, when it's him. It's him down to a T.
Period. If people got the wrong impression of me, that's not my problem. That's yours. I've tried to open up and talk to you guys and let y'all know what the real deal is. Y'all don't want to hear it. Y'all like to believe that someone is bad because you already got it in your head that someone is bad. You've already told yourself so many times that Cecil's a bad person that you actually start to believe it.
Oh, hold your horses a second, and I'm going to address Cecil personally myself this time. Cecil, when you say something and try to reverse what you've said and make an excuse for it, that the video is edited, we're using the confession video, or let's say testimony video, and we're using that as a prime example of how you deal with things. The video is edited. I lied in 90% of that video. So if you lied in 90% of that video, why bring up that the video is edited? If you lied 90% of the video, you wouldn't need to use the excuse that it was edited. And then we got the sleep humping. So how does that fit in? If it did happen, that's what he said. If it did happen, I was most likely sleep humping because I have a sleeping disorder. So we got the sleep humping, The video was edited, and what was the other one? I lied in 90% of that video. So each of those three excuses, I can't remember the other ones. I know there was a number of other ones. But 2 and 2 in this particular case does not make 4. It doesn't add up. Do you see where I'm coming from here? Do you see where the confusion is here? You're not being transparent, and you're not being clear on which excuse is the right one, because all three excuses can't be used together because they don't mix. They're three different things, and if you mix the three different things, none of it makes sense. Do you see where we're coming from here? No? Because everybody else can see this, that those excuses, it's edited, I lied in 90%, the video was edited 90%, and the sleep pumping thing. I think the sleep pumping thing was the kind of the emergency life raft in case one of these other excuses didn't work. But the life raft has a hole in it as well. Do you see where we're coming from here, Cecil? It's not making sense. You're not being transparent. You're throwing what looks like you're throwing a number of excuses at the wall, hoping that one of them will stick. But we still take into account that you made a number of different excuses which contradict each other. Do you understand where we're coming from? Oh, I know the other excuse. The other excuse was he was telling a story about an underage boy and his experiences, but it was somebody else, it wasn't him. How the frig does that make sense? And how does that fit in to the I was sleep pumping, I lied in 90% of that video, and the other excuse? The video was edited or whatever. How does that fit into all of that? It doesn't fit in at all, Cecil. It's a jigsaw with all the wrong pieces in it. The picture is not very clear at all. Person would want to be as high as a flippin' kite to believe any of those excuses, because they're all daft. The other part of it was that Cecil used to be called High Street Paranormal, and he was focusing on paranormal research. So he would have attracted people from the paranormal community. Some of them would be as daft as a brush and believe anything, but some of them would be genuinely very good at the paranormal and be able to analyze EVPs, which doesn't help your cause, Cecil, because when a certain person called Life After Life Productions, aka me, who now focuses on the audio of paranormal, like EVPs and spirit box sessions and stuff, part of that work is analysing the audio and cleaning up audio, which that kind of skill takes a lot of learning, and you are in the audio industry in making music, which you would be aware that somebody could take your video and analyse the audio and find out exactly where the cuts are, which I done. And shock horror, I find no cuts, Cecil. You say there's cuts, but you don't know where they are? That doesn't make any sense either, Cecil, because if it was me, and it was me that... If it was me that had my head on the block, I would make sure I knew where the flipping cuts were. And I would have that video up and say, listen folks, this is where the video was edited. But you've never done that. And that's why people are still questioning you, because you keep saying that the video was edited, but you're unable to tell us where those edits are. That's a bit of a problem.
Not arguing with negative people. I'm not looking at, listening to, watching, paying any attention to no negativity. It doesn't bother me if someone makes a video about me. It's all hogwash. You don't know me to be talking about me. You don't know me to be talking about me. So if people are out there making hours of long live streams about me, you're an idiot. You're morons. You're talking about someone you don't know. Making shit up in your head publicly in front of people on social media. It's embarrassing. Very cringy. Very.
Thank you, Cecil, for reminding me that it took me the whole day to do this video. That does not make me feel good at all, because I could have been doing other things. As for knowing you, Cecil, you put out a lot of your private life out online. You don't seem to have a filter. You know, there's some things on your private life you shouldn't be sharing on YouTube. But you put it all out there to the public, so we know an awful lot. We know an awful lot about you. You know, but the main thing is we know what you said and done. And we know what you lied about. That is where, that's the main part of all of this. But over the years we've learned your personality, we've learned your little tricks, we've learned your little lies. I'm sorry I have to say that they're lies, but you've done so many lies that contradicted other lies. There's no other way of looking at it, only with put a label in it as lies. You can attack us all you want, but at the end of the day, we know what we heard, and we know what you said. That is the thing. You're trying to put things back in the bag instead of trying to sort it out and deal with it and then move forward. You want to get in the time machine and go back in time to where it didn't happen, but that's not a possibility at this point in time. Basically what Cecil is doing here is, right, I'm the important one here, and yes, I have supporters and viewers, but in this particular situation, I'm in deep shit here, so I'm going to throw them under the bus to save my own ass.
So yeah, every once in a while you might see a little short video pop up. If I run across some random evidence of some paranormal shit, I'll share it with y'all. But I won't share my face unless I have to. Throughout all this bullshit, it's made me a stronger person. That's the positive in all this. It's made me a stronger, better person. If I have a new coin that I find in my pocket that's valuable, I'll share the coin. Something like that. But you're going to get a video maybe once every 2 weeks if you're lucky. Anything else you don't deserve to see. Because there's a lot of bitter, negative, nosy people out there who choose to make shit up in their head about people and throw shade.
In order to label somebody as a liar, you would have to have evidence, which you have little to none. And we have many. So, yeah.
And until those people get away from me and my YouTube channel, I don't want to be a part of YouTube. Matter of fact, I'm not even active on any other social media site that has a video streaming. I am officially done.
Cecil was officially done about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and we all know how that ended up. He started uploading more than he ever did. And then he left again, and then said that he was going to delete his main channel, which he lied about that. And so we know that we'll see Cecil in about 4 days, because somebody will piss him off, and he will have no choice in his head but to come on and rant about it.
What you guys see on my channel, that's what you get. You're not getting anything else. I just wanted to say this goodbye, that's all.
You say goodbye, and I say hello, hello. Cecil, we'll see you next week. Stop lying.
I didn't even want to do this. I don't even think y'all deserve this, man.
You don't even deserve this. What way is that to treat one's viewers who have supported Cecil in his daily rants for 7 years? Does Cecil hold himself in high authority or something? It seems like that to me. Who does one think that they are? The Prince Andrew of the paranormal community. That actually would be very appropriate, actually.
But I felt you at least deserved, to know why I'm leaving. Truly from my heart.
What do you want? Do you want a medal or something?
And at the same time, know why I came to YouTube in the first place and what my true intentions were. It was to embark on that paranormal research in a positive way, to crack cold cases, to really try to find out what happened to these people, and possibly share a little bit more good music before I was completely done with it, and maybe make a beat and make someone feel good in their day.
Cecil, I have a question. I've asked you 4 times already. Define the word research, please. Post it down below. You're not blocked. Don't look it up on Google, because I'll know if you have. No cheating.
That's all. That's the only reason why I'm here, dude.
Some sad music, please.
I'm not here to hurt nobody, to piss nobody off. I'm not here to offend anybody, to make enemies with anybody. I'm not an enemy type of person. I'm a peaceful, law-abiding, tax-paying family man. If you guys want to continue to make shit up in your head about me, in my life, in my family and shit, so be it. I'm not going to get angry, and I'm not going to retaliate. I'm just going to feel sorry for you, because that's all you deserve, is pity. For you to think like that about people you don't know, and to waste that much time on letting people live inside of your head all day long for no reason, just so you have something to talk about, it's pretty pathetic. It really is. There's so many great, good, positive things people could be doing. And for those of y'all out there who are in these drama communities and you have kids, shame on you. Because our kids are watching us, dude. They're watching us and they're mimicking us. We can't expect our kids to do better than we are doing. You have to be the example for your children. You have to be. Whether you think they're watching or not. If they're not watching yet, they'll eventually go back and see what daddy and mommy made on YouTube. Those videos stay forever. If anybody knows that, it's me. You have to set a better example for you as parents, dude. We might not be able to save a lot of these crackheads out here that are fucked up on these streets, dude. You know, all diseased up with this addiction, with this fucking pandemic of drug addicts out here. We can't save them, but we can at least guide children in a better direction. We can at least save them and prevent them from being shitty like y'all. We can at least do good by them. You know? Be good parents. Be good uncles. Be good aunts. Be good grandparents. Be a better example to children. Y'all are not setting a very good example for children. Y'all's content is not for children, ever. It all caters to hateful hearts, dude. I'm not going to be a part of it. I'm out. Salute, peace, and love. Be kind to one another. It is your boy, C Love. I'm out.
That was insane. That was fucking brilliant. Well done, Cecil. Well done. Cecil, what you just said, I think you can learn from what you just said yourself. I really do think that. Now, whatever you want to do in life, I wish you well. I do wish you would clear up the things that you have left behind you on the internet, because this is affecting your life, it's affecting your kids' life. You know, you're not going to get forgiveness from everybody, but people will give you some sort of respect to say, this guy turned his life around after a very, very difficult childhood and a lot of the things that you've done in your life, and you've turned your life around. But you've yet to reveal that. You know, I don't know if it's too late or not. Too many lies have gone by. But at least sort of be honest with yourself. You know, and I think one of the important things that you just said was your children. Children are going to see what you do online. Is this what you want your child to see? Is this what your child's friends want to see about you? You know? You should have really thought about that before all of this has started. Because it's kind of like a big forest fire now. And I don't know how you're going to quench that. But you certainly can't quench it with excuses and lies. You really can't. Let's do a poll in the comments section. When do you think that Cecil will be back? Will it be tomorrow or the next day or 3 or 4 days' time? I'm going now because I spent nearly the whole day on this video, which makes me feel very sad. So I'm going to go and do something else. And I will see you next time.